Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to set up the render layers in Blender, split your scene into separate layers and go through the basics of using Cryptomatte passes. So I have a demo file here. In this file, I have background, midground and the foreground and the camera and light. This camera and light will be on for all the render layers because this is just contributing the light in the scene and the camera, and we'll set the layers and we'll set all the properties to all the layers and see how to get the separate passes, and we'll also set the Cryptomatte layering. So I'll try to explain everything in detail and let's see how that goes. First I will set the layers. For that you can see there is a tab here for layers. Now nothing is set. I will set one by one. Type the FG here. So this layer will be only for the FG. So once I set the FG, you can see that the layer is already created with the name of FG, and same I will create one more layer. Just click here and say new and then name that as a midground or MG, and then I will create one more here, this as BG. Now you can see that we have three layers here: foreground, midground and background. Once I selected the foreground layer, I will set all the render passes that I want to get from this layer. So go to the layers. So in FG layer, I want the Z pass, position pass, normal pass, and I will set the direct, glossy and ambient occlusion, and I will also set this object, material and then asset. This is set for layer FG. In the same way, I will also do this for the midground layer. Go to the midground, select the midground one. Now do the same thing, or you can just choose the layers that you want. For this tutorial purpose, I'm going to choose everything same here. And now I will do the same thing for background. Go to BG and then select all those passes that you want. Now we have set all the layer passes. Let's go to the layering and turn off the layers that we don't want to see in the layers. Like if I go to the foreground, in foreground layer I want to read only the foreground, so turn these options on and just hold out this background. In foreground layer we are seeing only the foreground. In the same way we'll go to midground, keep midground on and rest will be off, like these two. Same to go to the background. In background layer I don't want midground and the foreground. Foreground and midground, they are contributing the indirect information like shadow and the reflection, but they are not really visible in that layer, which is really helpful for compositing. Now there are 2 points here. You can either set your render like this, or for the background sometimes you need to have whole background here. For that you don't have to select these options. Instead of that you can just do the indirect information. Like if you set this, you can see there is no holdout, but those objects are not visible in the layer, but they are like still contributing the information like shadows and the reflection, but they are not holding out anything. They are not cutting out the matte. They are like just invisible from the layer. So it's up to you which one you prefer. You can just set it like that. In my previous shot, I wanted my background without the ship and the character, but I wanted the reflection and the shadows of the ship and character, so I kept it like that. So in this also I'll just use the same method, and if I go to the FG, you can see that in FG I don't have any indirect. I'm just holding out the background and the midground. You can do the same thing for the midground because FG will be covering the background, but it's just for the demo purpose, so I'm just keeping it like this. So now we have set the file. Just cross check it once. In background we are seeing only the background, but we are not reading anything from the midground or foreground, only the indirect information. And go to the midground and see. In this also you can just remove the holdout from the foreground and you can just use this indirect. You can just hold this out in compositing as well, which is quite easy. So I'll just turn on the indirect and not the holdout. Once you are sure with the render layers, go to the compositing and make sure this is on. You can see it has a render layer tab here and the composite. You can see all these layers because we have turned this on here. For example, if I don't select position or normal, those are disappeared from there because we have set it already here. So these are back to the layer now. In the same way, anything you select here, that will be visible in the render layers. Now I will just get the file output. Using this node, you can set up your file path. For example, I will just go to desktop and I will set a path here. This will be my FG. I have created a folder FG and I'll also use the same name here and then say accept. So I have set the render path, and make sure that you have selected the foreground here. Whatever you are now doing is for the FG layer. Press N, you will get this tab, and then select this and just click to the properties and you can get these options. Now I want to render the EXR, so I will set the EXRs, open EXR multi-layers. EXR will be good for CG compositing, and make sure that you have set this to float full. Now add all those layers you want. By default it's set only to image. So I'll just click this image here. Now you want to add more layers, simply click to add input. Now you have one more that I want for an alpha. I'll keep adding more layers. Here I'll use depth, position. First I will connect all those passes till ambient occlusion. Depth will go to depth, position will go to position, same way normal, and then diffuse, and then gloss, and then ambient occlusion. Now comes the Cryptomatte. We have selected the Cryptomatte option here already. That's why we are getting all this. And I'll quickly show how to set up the Cryptomatte and what that exactly does here. You can also set the viewer layer, but that will be quite confusing. So I'll just keep it like this. I'll add more inputs, like we have 9 tabs left: Cryptomatte, Crypto Material, and the Crypto Assets. Each one has 3 options. So I'll just make sure that we have 9 slots again. One is already there. I'll call it Crypto Object. And then we'll set Crypto Asset. So we have this Crypto Object and Crypto Material and Crypto Asset. You can use one Crypto Object, one Crypto Material, and one Crypto Assets, but I'm just keeping it as is. And in the same way, I'll just take one more render layer. Now I'll set the midground. I'll say use compositing, connect the image to composite, and then the file output. I can just copy paste this, go to the FG, and this time I will use the midground. Okay, now this is for the midground. Image to image, alpha to alpha, and the same way it all goes as we did for the FG layer. Okay, now we have set this file for the midground. Same we'll do for the background as well. I'll set it BG and then select this, create a BG layer and name it BG. Now we have 3 layers. We have set all the render passes for all the layers. We have given the file output path, and we have set the XR multi-layer. Let's save this, go to the layout, and I'll just simply hit F12. Okay, render is done. Just ignore this composite. Go to the FG. You can see there is FG. Midground, we have midground, and then background. The same way we have set this all. Now we have the renders for 3 layers, like foreground, midground, and background, and we have also set up the Cryptomatte. We'll just quickly understand why these 3 options are here in Cryptomatte, like object and material and asset. I'll show that in Nuke. I have these 3 passes we just rendered. One is FG, midground, and background. If I select, we don't see anything. For that, we'll take a shuffle node. Just use the image. Same with the foreground and then the background. Merge them together. So that's the reason we take different layer renders, because it will be really easy in compositing to do the layer comping. We really have more controls here to do the compositing. Now let's see how to use the Cryptomattes. First we'll learn about the Crypto object. Now if I select the Crypto object and click any object, you can see that it's giving us the matte for separate objects. Like if we have separate objects in the layer, then you can get that matte from Crypto object. Same for this one as well. You can see we have a separate object matte here, and same if I just go and select here. Now in the background we have more objects here, like the ground and the wall and the background objects. That's why we are reading more colors here. Now I can just select the plane, which is ground. We don't want, you can just simply click to remove and click it here, then pick, control and click. So this is the Crypto object option. Now what is Crypto material? Now we really don't see any difference between the Crypto object, Crypto material. They are just different color but giving the separate mattes. So just to understand that more deeply, let's go back to the Blender file. Okay, to understand the Crypto material thing, now I'm in the background layer. I will assign a different material to any of this part. For example, now I want to use, just I'll subdivide it so you can get more parts. Now we have subdivided this object. We'll just apply a different material to any of these parts. Let's say I just select these 2 faces and go to the material and assign a new material to that part, like any different color. I'll just use red color to this box, and in the same way I'll select this, go to edit, select any 2 faces and assign a new material. I'll just use any one color here. Now our background objects has multi material applied, because now they are just not a black, they have like two options here. I'll just name it red 02, and in this I'll name it green 02. So our BG box has two materials, one is black and one is red, and same with this object as well, one is purple and one is green. Now just go to the camera view and render it again. Okay, our render is done. Let's go to Nuke. In Nuke, we have this render updated now with the extra material assigned to that cubes. I'll take a Cryptomatte. This time we have the same options or same colors for the crypto object. We don't have any difference here. You can just simply select and then we have no changes. But in the crypto material, we have more options in the material because we have assigned the extra material to the cubes, like the red ones and the green ones. Or now you can easily select that material here because we have separate material assigned to that object. So that is very simple. We have more material, that's why we have more options to select now. For example, in the background we have single material applied to the plane, that's why we cannot see any difference in the material. If I go to the blender and just for the example, if I select the background, let's make more faces here and select any 2-3 faces and assign new material. Let's name it pink cubes and then assign it. Go to the camera view. Now you can see we have some patterns or some more material on the background wall as well. So if I just render it again, once the render is done, go back to the Nuke. Let's refresh this. Now we have got more material on the background wall as well. Let's take a Cryptomatte, and if I go to the material, now we have more options on the background as well on the wall, because we have set that background material in the blender. So you can simply select those cubes. Now those all are in one material, that's why you can select all at once. But if you have multiple materials set on the wall, then you can select each of them, like this one, this material is different, this one is different, and this one is different, like that. Now let's see what is this option. To see what Cryptomatte do, for that I will take one more box or any other object here, like a spear or something. Okay, let's grab this spear and keep it here. Also copy paste it. Now we have multiple objects in the background layer. In crypto object, we can simply select the all separate objects. In material, crypto material, we can select the each material. Now to see what asset does, let's take a empty here. I'll just keep my empty object here. I'll take one more empty object and I'll keep it here. I'll select this object and assign or parent it with this empty, and same I'll select this spear and parent this with. Now these two objects are connected to this empty, and in the same way I'll just select it and I'll just connect it to Control P. Our screen left side box and spear is connected to this empty, and screen right box and spear connected to this empty. Now let's see what Cryptomatte does. Render is done. Jump to Nuke. Now I'll simply refresh it. Now you can see we have a spear here in the new render. Let's take a new Cryptomatte. In Cryptomatte, we have crypto object. We have seen the crypto material. Now the crypto asset. In the crypto asset, now this spear and this box is in one mat, and then this spear and this box is in one mat because in Blender we have set it like that. This box and this spear is connected to this box. That means those both are assigned to the one crypto asset. And then same, this screen right box and this screen right spear is connected to this empty. That means those both are one crypto asset. So this is very simple, like the objects which are connected to one empty will be one single asset, and in our Blender file you can see that there are two empties. Empty has these two objects, that's why that is one crypto asset, and this empty has these two objects, that means that is one crypto asset. So that is very simple. And using the same and simple render techniques, I have rendered my previous shot as well. Like I have these separate layers for the shape, background and the characters, and then setting up the whole rendering passes and the Cryptomatte. I have rendered my shot. It will be helpful to do the compositing if you have the multiple layers to do the comping. First thing, you have more controls in your comp. Second thing, you have separate layers you can turn off, or you can do the pre-comping, and then your comp script will be light. It won't be really heavy to work. And then in some cases, like in this shot, I wanted to add more elements. That will be very easy to do the layering according to this scene. And for many reasons, rendering separate layers will be very efficient way to work. And this is the whole basic idea of rendering the EXRs and Cryptomattes. If any confusion, please let me know down in the comments, and I will try to make in detail video for that as well. And thanks for the support, and see you in the next video.